is going to be the return of Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. Now, Farid, he's 11-0, undefeated. He's 5-0 in his last five. He's coming off of that arm triangle choke against Clayson Rodriguez in round one, I believe. He is 26 years old. He's going to be fighting Taylor Lapilus, 19-3, 5-0 in his last five. He's coming off that decision victory over Calvin Longren. He's 31 years old, so he'll be the older fighter here. And in terms of height and reach, they both have 2 inch, give or take, each way for the height and reach. Odds for this fight right now, Farid is a minus 300, and he actually opened up at minus 300, so not too much movement long term. I will say that once he opened up at minus 300, he did. This line movement's kind of been all over the place. He did get bet down to minus 335 at one point, but then he was also bet to minus 170 and has since settled back down to minus 300. So it's kind of interesting line movement there, if I do say so myself. For this fight, I mean, man, I think Farid is the definition of just a solid all around UFC fighter. Solid striking skills, good volume on the feet, targets the head, body, and legs, something that I really like to see from fighters. And he's really great with his kicks that are, quick and snappy. The only thing that I don't like about his striking is that he just seems like he doesn't have too much power. So he's more of a decision fighter in terms of striking. He does have good footwork, movement in the cage, moves side to side really well. I also think that this is his best attribute. He does a great job of mixing in his grappling and truly knows how to attack his opponent's weakness. We saw that in the last fight, right? He was using his size and grappling ability against a guy like Clayson Rodriguez, who's a dangerous striker. He does really well in setting up his takedowns with his striking, able to sprawl takedowns from his opponents. So he's just well rounded all over the place in terms of grappling. Once he's on the ground, Farid has great top control and can easily finish the fight there easily. I mean, you saw what happened in the last fight. He just transitioned to an arm triangle pretty easily. Farid also has cardio to last all 3 rounds, so that's another positive attribute I like about him. In regards to Taylor, I mean, he's a good kickboxer. I actually do like how clean he fights. He can work his way into clean combos, able to use kicks and punches together. Pretty crafty guy. He's also able to counter his opponents if they just come in striking, like you saw in the last fight against Callan. Now, Taylor just does not have much offensive grappling, but I think that he is solid with his takedown defense, and that is proven to be true because he has an 81% takedown defense. However, once his opponent does take him down and is relentless enough to take him down, he does have a tendency to get grounded by them, from what I've seen. I do see Farid starting off the fight striking with Taylor, making him comfortable. He might not be able to match Taylor's striking, but then I think that he's going to lull Taylor into a sense of security and start attacking Taylor's weakness of being grounded. And I feel like he's going to take him down and either control him to a decision or potentially even pick up sub. So pick here is Farid by decision or sub. I've seen a lot of love for Taylor on social media, MMA social media, and I just don't get it. I'm going with Farid here. So give him to me at minus 300. I think he's a potential parlay piece. And yeah, I'm happy to buy stuff. I'm in some parlays. Gerard, what do you think about this fight between Farid and Taylor here?
Yeah, this fight, Farid, he might be one of the most complete fighters on this card from what I see. He he's pretty solid everywhere. Um, Pretty complete MMA game. He has tight defense, pretty disciplined, and he should win, I think, if he threatens Lapilus in all facets of the game, grappling, striking, mixing it up. What I will say though is Taylor, he is a decent striker. He's pretty good, and he has like you said, solid takedown defense. Um, but I think from what I see here on this card, I think Taylor might be like the better one of the better underdogs who's facing a pretty strong favorite who's minus 200 plus favorite here. And I think he's a pretty formidable underdog here. But Farid, I think Farid's game is just too complete, and he could decide to. He has the style that can get to the weaknesses of his opponents, and we see that fight IQ in him. That's how he usually game plans for, and that yeah, he's kind of a chameleon that he could do that with how solid he is everywhere. So yeah, my pick here is Farid, but Taylor's more one of the more formidable underdogs on this card, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with most of your points. And one thing I also want to mention is that Taylor has fought in the UFC before, I believe. I think that this is like his second
Yeah,
stint, if you will. So this guy is through and through a UFC veteran. So good opponent for Farid, definitely. But I do think that Farid is, I think he's the real deal, honestly. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think it's going to be a fun fight.